People. Que pasa, sakpa, say what they do. Welcome to Crime Time News, where the difference is in the meds. Call it news with a buzz. First thing that is popping in the news, it is called something look fishy, something in a something don't look quite right. What am I speaking about? I am speaking about an automated machine, ATM machine, that was dragged from Jermaine's service station that is in Darliston, Westmoreland. This incident occurred 2 a.m. Thursday morning. Based on the information, it is said that surveillance camera captured at least 4 individuals using some sorts of cutter, cut the grill, welding torch, remove the machine, and then take with themselves. As a matter of fact, take a look at the beautiful bean footage, and then I'll give my piece. Now, people, I am no crime scene expert. However, when I look at this video, something definitely looks wrong. These men did not look as if they were in any sorts of rush. They did not look as if time was up on them. There was no sorts of urgency. Them kind of look casual. Them kind of look like, just another day upon the job. Them come in with the welding torch, with the cutter, and then pull out the ATM machine, drag it on the ground at least 4 or 5 purses. Based on the information, it is said that the ATM machine was found on the Great House property that is in Darliston. However, that safe or ATM machine, it was breached. It was a bit lighter. Well, very, very lighter, about 8 million or so. It is also said that they took cigarette, them take all sorts of high-end liquor, and then them take with themselves. The surveillance camera caught everybody. It is said that the owners of Jermaine service station called the po in the commencement or when the robbery was going on. However, nobody showed up. There was no sorts of security, no sorts of alarm. Well, alarm was raised. However, there was no sorts of attention given to this alarm. I am going to tell you what I think further on in the news. Now, based on the information in the po reports, it is said that just before the business close, end of business for the day, the people them come in and them replenish the ATM machine. It is also said that the owner called. He called the po, tell the po, you know, say, I mean him, Jermaine. Some people running from a place in a black suit like Alliance and a bounty door. However, it seems as if them have a bounty upon the cash. Them a take out the machine, me a watch everything as we speak. However, the po failed to show up. The next question I have to ask is this. How is it that in 2023, in a landscape like Jamaica, so much thief, you have a business as a gas station where a whole bunch of cash is circulating through it? ATM machine with in excess of $8 million. And no monkey money that in a Jamaican terms. So therefore, why wouldn't you make sure that you have some sorts of security, as in Archive, Brinks, whichever one, it did not matter. Somebody to make sure, say, at least you can have your place safe and secure. How is it that you're calling the poor and it take them forever? And people, this is not an isolated case in a Jamaica. Sometimes you call the poor and them don't come until the next day, if them come any at all. As a matter of fact, I remember an incident. A friend of mine has a property in a Mobile. And him call him worker. And while he was talking to the worker was being robbed. And him call the poor station. And the poor station did not reach. He was talking to his worker when he was in Kingston. All when him reached Montego Bay 3 or 4 hours later, the poor still did not show up. The Freeport poor station was about 5-10 minutes bad traffic to his property. Them never show up, not even the next day. Them not show up, none at all. So therefore, we can't say, well, something suspicious about that, because we know say them logy when it comes to that. However, people, in my estimation, I think that the persons that pack up that ATM machine, them have something to do with it. And I think say the security or the security force, meaning the poor, had something to do with it. These persons look too casual. These persons look as if them know say, listen, whenever any sort of call is made, no poor now show up. So therefore, we can do whatever we need to do and then exit stage left with the cash, all 8 million plus, point blank and period. Now the next thing that is popping in the news is that we see that they have made amendment to the Traffic Ticketing Act. And a part of the amendment that was made that is causing a whole bunch of confusion is a part that says all taxi, public passenger vehicle are supposed to have child seats. Based on what persons interpret it, is that children under 12 supposed to be in some sorts of child seats. Now people, you know that a 12-year-old child cannot fit in the average car seat and should not fit in the average car seat. However, this is what happens when we have persons that don't have common sense making rules, and the persons that it is targeting don't have common sense to interpret the law properly. So therefore, dunce leading the dunce. Here is the thing. How practical is it for a taximan that have a 5-seater car to have a seat in a child seat in the car permanently, or even in the trunk, when people have all sorts of bag or come from market, all sorts of stuff? It is just not practical. It makes zero sense. However, when you do stuff like this and you tell some taximan, this is the kind of knee-jerk reaction that you're going to get. I am going to show you a video of a lady with a child that was going to some sorts of destination. However, every taxi where she stopped, every public passenger vehicle where she stopped, nobody never want to carry the pitney. This was not an isolated incident. It was happening all over Jamaica, specifically the fully Duns capital being Kingston. So people, take a look at the video and then I'll give my piece.
So guys, that just happened. A taxi said that I need to talk to the government. Mushin could have taken me up, but he can't take me up. Unless I have a car seat for both of my children, he cannot bring me. Yes, it is real in the streets, guys.
Tell me now, it's a more than sign. The woman and our daughter there so how long? We see about 3 taxi coming so stop her foot and she asked them if they go to town and how will they go. All and no one put her in night car. Everybody tell her the same thing.
Now, people, it is not as if it was not bad enough that there were many scenes like this being repeated all over Jamaica. Because the taximan them a say, listen, me nah carry no picnic, me nah have no sorts of car seat, picnic seat in my car, and I am not going to buy a child seat for about $25,000 or less because it is not practical. Me not have the money right now. I am a struggling taximan. Not only these videos were circulating all over social media, some of these cabmen even had some sorts of signs on their car. If you look at your screen right now, this sign says, sorry, no children under 12-year-old are allowed in this cab. Because me now paying no extra to the popo. And people, you know that some of these popo, they are not the brightest tools or the sharpest tools in the shed. So this is what happens when you have lawmakers that are in parliament that sit down and knock heads together and none of the head them don't make one. Them not no head, them not no sense, they are not practical. They make rules that persons aren't or will not be able to follow. It is not financially practical. It is just not practical, none at all. Worse, when they make rules and they are targeting some other people that are not the sharpest tool in the shed. So therefore, it is up to their interpretation based on what the popo is saying. So therefore, when you get a fully done popo knocking head or in some sorts of conflict with a fully done taximan, there is not going to be any sorts of resolution. So my point is this. If you do not make these rules very clear and practical and feasible for people, more than likely the victims in all of this is going to be the children, the mothers or the fathers with children that are going to be stuck. So, whenever you have the people in the parliament fully done, the people that it is targeting to, and the people that are out there that are supposed to enforce the law, fully done, fully confused, it is going to be problematic. So therefore, you are going to have all sorts of knee-jerk reaction. However, luckily, based on what the Prime Minister, based on what the relevant authority is saying, they are going to look at this amendment and re-amend the amendment and make it more practical. People, I have read the new amendments and trust me, it seems greedy, it seems outrageous, it seems as if the government's intention in making these amendments is to balance the book, to make up for all the money that they have stolen over all these decades. Because when you make rules and regulation and then they are not practical, you know that you're going to be fining persons unjustly. And some of these amendments, it just makes absolutely no sorts of sense. It is boneheaded. It is not practical. Point blank and period. Now the next thing that is popping in the news. People, remember I told you on several occasions that whenever we hear any sorts of fraud or scam at any of these financial institutions, any of these banks, usually they are downplaying the amount of damage. I am speaking about a former wealth advisor. Her name is Kadeen Thomas. She works at the NCB, or she used to work at the NCB in Ocherius. At first, they said that she stole 30,000 US. Then they said that she stole 100,000. Then they said that about 150. However, people, the figures are actually in. It is said that when they did the final tally, or yet to be determined so far, it is about 42 million Jamaican dollars. Based on the information specifically $279,000 was swindled from a few clients' accounts. Also, 507,000 Jamaican dollars. She also got a few new charges. She was locked up. She was charged for larceny as a servant. She was charged for uttering forged documents. She was offered $5 million bail at the St. Anne's Bay court the other day. Her new court date is on the 10th of May, 2023. So people, me just assure you, do not listen to these people. Do not trust these people. Do not trust these investigators. Usually, if them tell you say a 2 billion, I go be 4. If them tell you say a 4, it a go be 8 or 10. It is usually worse. They are always trying to downplay it. Point blank and period. So anyways, people, thanks once again for checking out my video. I understand that this might be your grandma's favorite YouTube channel. However, this is not the run-of-the-mill Mama and Papa channel. This is news with a buzz. If you appreciate videos like this, please show your appreciation by liking, commenting, and sharing to my channel. That is how YouTube promotes videos like these to like-minded, sensible persons like yourself. Bless up.